Good evening, church. Share a quick thought I've been pondering, something that is one of the most commonly known pieces of scripture, but also one of the most commonly misunderstood. And I wanted to give some context to that and help us to understand it. It's the issue of judgment. Matthew 7, verse 1 says, "Judge not that you be not judged. Judge not that you be not judged." And we hear people quote this all the time, especially quoting it at Christians. Oh, don't be judgmental. Bible says, judge not. Don't judge. Don't judge. Judging's bad. And that's completely missing the context. You see, the context of the section of scripture is saying, do not judge hypocritically. It's not saying that we should not judge. It's saying that we shouldn't judge hypocritically. Verse 5 of the same chapter says, "Hypocrite, first remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." And then you will see clearly to remove. So part of our responsibility as believers is to support one another by challenging, correcting, exhorting, and dealing with some of the stuff that your brother or your sister is dealing with. One of the worst things that we can do to each other is refuse to support one another by offering correction that we can see that will be helpful. Offering correction to sin or a wrong that we can see, that we can help in. Other scriptures that will support this clear idea that we are called to be good, right judges. Proverbs 27:5 says, "Open rebuke is better than love carefully concealed." Proverbs 31:9 says, "Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy." Matthew 18:15 says, "Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained a brother." Go and tell him his fault. It's a scary thing to do. I think part of the reason that we're willing to accept the nonsense of do not judge is because it's scary to go and to talk to your brother or sister, someone that you love as part of your church, as part of your family, and to challenge them on their sin, to challenge them on what they're doing wrong, to challenge them on the shortcoming that they need to address because you want them to do better. It's frightening. I do this regularly as part of my job as a pastor. You've done this perhaps with me, and I've had to call you on some stuff, and I don't like doing it. I'm not afraid of it because the personality I have helps that way, but I don't like it because it's kind of risky. It's emotionally, it's relationally risky, but we're called to it. Again, John 7:24 says, "Do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment." We are called to righteous judgment. We are called to challenge one another. We're called to see in the other what we may not see in ourselves, and to help by throwing out the challenge that may bring correction. We're called to move away from sin. We're called to move towards a more sinless, a more Christ-reflective lifestyle. And part of that is in healthy judgment. If we are called to not judge, how do I pastor you? If we are called to not judge, how do any of us grow? How do any of us learn? Again, I encourage you, church. I encourage you, do not judge hypocritically. Do not judge coming from pride or insecurity. Do not judge coming from your own brokenness. But first remove the plank from your own eye. Remove your own brokenness, your own insecurity. Remove whatever it is that's making it a pride issue in you. And then help by removing the speck from your brother or your sister's eye. Help by giving them the challenge. Help by giving them the word that they need to hear. Because more often than not, they don't see the mark on their face that is the struggle that they're dealing with, but we do. So church, I encourage you, do not judge hypocritically, but judge well. But do judge. Anyway, God bless you tonight, folks. I hope that you're having a good evening, and I will talk to you again as we go through the week. Bless you. Love from your brother.